今日びっくり。それから後でこれから今日来るものが、今ちょっとチョンさんと見たんですが、焚き火で9時ぐらい、着払いで郵便局持ってくる予定です。僕ストリームの中ですから。できないです。郵便局が誰もいないですから、置いて、今日見たいんですよ。
来るの？9時？
どうか決まってないですから、いつも私ストリーム。そう、ストリームやるとき。
なんだろう。
本当にもう crazy. This is a crazy day here.
今日はすごいぞ。
Like I made it, but just in time. Just whatever. We'll talk about it later. But incredible. We just. I had a plan for show and tell today. I brought some books that arrived just yesterday. It's great. I was thinking it would be an okay show and tell, nothing special. I can't tell you. I'll tell you later. Whatever. I opened this thing to show Sugi-san what we're going to be talking about today. Look at this. It's kind of interesting. Look at this. It's kind of interesting. We turn the page, and she just explodes. 考えられないでしょ。
考えられない。
考えられないよ。What's the coincidence?
偶然もう奇跡だよ奇跡。
Whatever coincidences you've had in your life, just whatever. This is the ultimate coincidence. Okay, let's do some work. I have good news and bad news. Well, the good news is we're here. Shunga janai, kankei janai, no shunga. The good news is we're here, and I'm here, and things are going well, and whatever. The bad news is what I'm going to be doing today is not so interesting. It's going to be more embossing. I'm sorry about this. Well, I don't need to apologize, whatever. I'm sorry. I'll be doing more embossing. And the other good news comes to some of you who may be waiting. What are we embossing? What am I embossing today? This arrived yesterday morning. And there will be among you some people who will say, this is indeed good news. Blank paper. What a day. This is incredible. You'll see at the end of this street. There's three of us here today. Today is the start day for the print number 7. Sugi-san is here. Ishikawa-san is here. It's kind of unusual for us to have 3 people in the room at the same time. We've been sort of having a rule where we take turns. So this is unusual for 3 people to be in the same room. Maybe the first time. もう久しぶりでしょ。3人一緒に。最近コロナの間にあまりやってないんですね。そう。じゃあ向こうのドア開けた方がいいですね。そう。どう石川さんが何？
石川さんと閉めた。
うるさいから。空気が入らない。そっか。今示したままでプレス。
示したまま。
オッケー。じゃあ終わってから開けましょう。Polar bear in the snow. Okay. Keep it close. Here we go. Oh my God! He printed them all upside down. What are we gonna do? This is our first group in actually nearly 2 months. We were making them at a pace of 60 copies each month or so. But recently Yamamoto-san, the young boy who's making these for us, he has been crazy busy. Everybody in town is crazy busy. So the waiting list has been climbing. Anyway, we have now today, I gave him 60 sheets of paper, and we're going to get probably 58, 59 good prints out of this. And the other news is that he has already got the paper for the next batch. What's today? Thursday. He phoned me, I don't even know what day he phoned me. He phoned me Tuesday night saying, I've sent them. You're going to get them Wednesday afternoon. And he said, can I have the paper for the next group? And I'm like, what? Normally it's a month between groups. He said, yeah, I got nothing else here, so do it. That was Tuesday night. So Tuesday night, and I'm killing it. At midnight, I did the sizing for him that night so that it would be dry the next morning, Wednesday morning, so I could send it to him on Wednesday. So anyway, here we go. Today we are going to be doing the embossing on this, and then we have a show and tell, whatever, to die for. I won't stop laughing about this one for months. The neighbors must have thought, what's going on? Because these two guys are just screaming. 今さっきの大声ですが、2人で隣は何やったんですか？
大騒ぎ。
安倍さん事件が。
そんな話ばっかりしてて、何の話してるんだって思ってます。
There's just so many. Tom's asking, shouldn't the blocks rest? This is a good question. How much should the blocks rest? This is an interesting question, Anthony. Up to now, as I said, we've been printing every 6 weeks or so. We do a batch of 60. Now that's really a lot of rest for a set of blocks. The problem comes, if we were, say, going to do 200 at a time, then the key block goes down and you start printing it. Sheet 1, sheet 2, sheet 3. After 50 copies, it's getting kind of wet. So the key block gets softer and softer as you go through it. It wears out some more. After 100, after 150, after 200, the same day, remember you're doing this, that key block is really going to get damaged. So we stop it at 60, which is the first idea to rest the key block. And then it's not so much part of the plan, we don't have time to get back to this for 6 more weeks. But when you think about it, suppose the same printer had the set of blocks. He does the key block, say 60 copies. Key block sets aside and starts drying. He then works on the color blocks. 1 day, 2 days, 3 days, 4 days, 5 days, whatever, about a week or so. So after another week, if you wanted to start your next group, that key block has been drying for a week. It's as dry as it's going to get. It doesn't have to wait 6 weeks. It's not going to dry any more from week 2 to week 6 unless you took it to the Sahara or something. So Tom's question is, shouldn't the blocks rest more? A week is more than enough under normal circumstances to get that block back to normal. What you don't want is to use it while it is wet and soft. So I'm not in any way concerned about this. Doing it more quickly is going to bring forward the day when the blocks are finally worn out. Just a question of how many copies we make from them. So yes, that's going to happen. They're going to wear out 6 months down the road or 6 years down the road. Now it's going to be faster because we're printing it faster. But there's no problem with printing it next week. Absolutely no problem. Okay, excuse me a sec. Let me have a look at this. You can see what's going to happen here. We have a registration mark taped on. Let's get the camera here worked out. Actually, just where it is should do fine, I think. So move to Phoenix, it'll get really dry. I get you. It would, of course, it would split like crazy. So whatever. So when we say dry, it's a word. I mean, even right now here in Japan, it's soaking wet. I am wet under my arms. We've moved into the rainy season. And even though it's a nice, beautiful, sunny day, we are all sweaty and stinky. The humidity is still very, very high. So a dry block at this time of year and a dry block in winter are 2 different things anyway. Okay, let's get organized, Dave. I'm sorry, I was in a real rush here. I got to get organized here. 青色のthat blue cloth, what do you call it? ちょっと待って。この雑巾の青色の
タオル？
タオルみたいなもの。
ペーパータオルじゃなくて？
あ、これ目の前。
そこへ。
I can't call. I was speaking about myself. Did I say we are all? Whatever. I don't know. Okay, how should we do this? Let's see. If I put this thing in there, no, if I put this down there, put this here. Actually, Koringami has an interesting question here. Time to ramp up the dosa. There is a really, really interesting thing happening with the dosa. Really interesting thing happened. We were talking about this yesterday. When Yamamoto-san sent me this thing, and he said, can you give me the next paper? The first question I'm going to ask him is, okay, good. As far as dosa goes, how was the sizing on this batch of prints? Because after I get each batch, I ask him, how was it? How did it work on the sizing? How are we going? for the next group. I want to hear, is it starting to pill up or stuff like this? And he said, no, just don't change anything. It's perfect, it's perfect, it's perfect. I didn't change anything. I am still working on, what is it now? This is now June. I'm still working on last summer's formula. When we got to the autumn last year, normally the sizing is, say, 50 or 60 grams in the summer. You drop it down to 30 grams in the winter. You run it back up to 50, 60 grams in the summer. In the summer, the paper is weak because it's wet and soft. You need stronger glue. In winter, the paper is colder and it seems to be stronger inherently. You don't need much sizing. Roll back now to last autumn, and I was getting ready to start dropping the level of Nikawa. Two things are different. I started using a hot carpet on the table back there. So the idea being to make the table hotter, make the paper hotter, and the dosa would flow more smoothly. So I did so, and I started to drop it the normal way. Started to drop it. The printers all said the same thing. No, it's starting to pill up. Don't cut the Nikawa. It turned out that all winter long, all the way through, I kept it at 50 grams. I didn't change it all the way through. So instead of going down for the winter, back up for the summer, I have stayed on a bridge all the way through the winter at 50 grams. Haven't changed it at all because we're doing it on a hot carpet which keeps the paper warm. So the key point is not the temperature at the point when you're printing, it's the temperature at the point when you put the size in the paper. And we hadn't known this. This has been a wonderful, wonderful experience for us. So at the moment, the one I did last night, I did 50 grams, which is a normal summer level, and we're coming back into summer. And I'm like, where are we going to go from here? And I suspect that by using that hot carpet, simply all year long, I am going to end up using the same ratio of 50 grams. Once we get a bit more knowledge about this, we'll be talking about it, blogging about it, letting everybody know what's going on. But at the moment, that's what's happening here. Okay, check. Hokusai, David, Yamamoto. Double check, double check, double check. Corinne's asking, is the dosa staying more on the surface? What's happening chemically and biologically and molecularly, I don't have a clue. I don't think it's going on the surface because we're taking about very thin paper. When I'm hanging up this paper, it is transparent. The moisture is full. There's no dry spots in there. That moisture has penetrated all the way through both sides. It is completely, absolutely like a transparent onion skin. So the question of the dosa staying more on the surface, I suspect that's not a factor. Anyway, let me do some work or we'll never, ever, ever, ever get anything done here. Let me leave you for a minute while I concentrate here to make sure we get the right lineup. It's just so funny. I'm gonna be back. Okay, let's do a test here. Glasses on. Check again. Yamamoto. This is Yamamoto. If we go in here. Oh, that's not going to work. I'm off the table. Hang on a sec. I'm off the table today. Tape. Here we go. I can't tell you. It's just a good story. I can't tell you the story now. Just wait. I'm sorry. It's okay. Just wait. So. Okay, how do we get this? There we go. I think we can get this then. It's a bit vague. It's the full name of the team that made the sprint. Katsushika Hokusai, Katsushika Hokusai, Hori Buru David. I put my full name on this one. And then Suri Yamamoto Shun. The three men whose names will live forever. Hokusai, Bull, and Yamamoto. Nice team. I think it's time for the outside microphone to come off. It looks like they're taking down, the outside mic is off already. It looks like they're taking down the scaffolding. Yesterday was painting day. They sprayed that thing a bright, deep blue, the Whale Restaurant. Then what I have to do this afternoon, one more step, I have to check each one of these prints. Because there's so much open space on these things, we end up with chiri specks of washi, specks of bark inside them. So every one of these prints this afternoon will go underneath the microscope. And I'm in time pressure now because the plan was I was going to finish this stream and I was going to go to Ome, relax for the day, get my vaccine tomorrow, my vaccination tomorrow. But now this thing arrived, and this has to go to Ome for shipping and packing. And before it gets packed, every one of these has to go under the microscope. So I'm now in real time pressure today. So after the stream's finished, I'm going to be taking these all down to the microscope, checking through as many of them as I can, putting them in my bag and taking them to Ome. Because Cameron has already started notifying people on the mailing list. That could be a bit more moist, I think. You would like to see some chili surgery? We did actually some. We did some. It's not really interesting because there's not an awful lot you can see, but we did do some on a stream a couple of years ago. Should we zoom up a bit and see what he's done? You can see they spray painted it the richest. This is not a Japanese color at all. They spray painted it a rich, deep color. And they've left the yellow, maybe the yellow sign is coming down. The yellow sign says Hoge-sen. And Hoge-sen, it's in translation, it's a whaler, as in the ship. Sen is boat. So the name of his shop means whaling ship. Hoge-sen. That's the name of his business. You could imagine in the West, I think that would be a name like that would be used for a pub or something. You could imagine a pub down near the Greenwich Docks or something in London called the Whaler. And that's what his pub is called, the Whaler, Hoge-sen. And so somebody's mentioning Swedish. We were talking about that the other day. He's got the wrong country, I think. He's supposed to get Norway. Norway is one of those countries that's also doing whaling. I don't think Sweden does this. So he got the wrong flag. Hoge-senの今ペンキですね、立て直したところに新しいペンキ昨日入れたんですね。看板は黄色、看板はそのまま黄色、それから壁はブルー、リッチブルー、これよりすごい深いブルー。ブルーと黄色がスウェーデンの旗です。
そうですね。
そうだからスウェーデンもクジラを食べないですね。ノルウェーが食べます。
そうなんだ。
だから彼が間違ったかどうかわからない。旗が違う。So Scandinavians are all the same. They all sound the same, right? It's so cute. You missed the whale awning. The whale awning is coming back. I chatted with them about this. They're doing the wall first, the painting. The final step will be the installation of the new awning. Actually, there was a screw up yesterday. They had the fabric still over it. They were spraying it. They sprayed the building, all of it. They masked it off. And a new shutter is part of this renovation. So new shutters, the steel shutters, left and right, were part of the renovation. So the painters yesterday, the place was shut down, the shutters were closed. The painters came across, pss, pss, all day long, there's blue clouds in the air, whatever. And they sprayed the shutter. Pss, pss, pss. And I watched it. He's getting in all the spaces. Pss, pss, pss. They spray the shutter, pack up their gear, hang up the sign that says wet paint, and then drive away. Didn't think anything about it. They just drive away. It was, I don't know, not even an hour later went by. Then I hear a noise over there, and some of the staff members had come. The young guy, I don't think it's his son, the young guy. And he's got his key in the shutter, and he opens the shutter. And it's still wet paint. So, I guess nobody told him, or he didn't know, or he thought wet paint meant the wall, or something like this. So he opens the shutter, and it doesn't quite work properly. He pulls it back down, tries to open it, pulls it back down. And now it's covered with smears and scratches where it rolled up over itself while it was still wet. I guess he finally realized what was going on, pulled it back down, took his key out and buggered off. So when you look closely now, it's chaos. So I think today, I hope today they're going to come back and start spraying and touching up this thing. Like he must have been like, whoops, now they tell me. It's partly a problem of bad design of the construction. This building is the same. There's no back door. I mean, this would not be permitted nowadays. You put a building up long and narrow. It touched the buildings all the way around. You put a front door with a shutter, and there's no other way in or out. Now, like I sleep here during the days, and the only way out is through the front. If there was a fire or something, there you are. You go up or you go down. And of course, modern building codes have a whole different concept. That's why it's almost impossible for us to rebuild this building here in this place. There's no access at the back. So it requires fire exit stairs at the front. So the whole front of the building has to be zigzag, 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 open to the outside, not open to the inside, fire escape stairs. That's why we really can't do anything with this building here. He's done a good job still. These blocks now, we are now approaching 2,000 copies of this print. We're approaching 2,000 copies. And this only arrived yesterday. I haven't really inspected them yet. I'll be inspecting them later this afternoon. We are still doing fabulously. All the fine lines on the back here, they are still, and this is 2,000 copies. This is insane. Just a minute, let me try and get a good camera shot of this. Hang on a sec. Here we are. Look, the fine lines of the crisscross, the little part of the boat here at the back. All the straw here. I have no hesitation whatsoever about selling these. You're going to tell me this is a worn out block? There's no person on the planet. This roughness here, this is not worn out. This is carved this way. That was like that from the beginning. So this myth about Japanese woodblock prints, 200, 300 copies, it's all over, it's game over. That's not how it is. It's not how it has to be. This is documented now. It's actually, when you count all the test printing we did, hundreds of copies of test prints before we published this thing. We're over 2,000, well over 2,000. When we get to 2,000, it's time to make another YouTube video about this. I'll get the blocks back here. I'll put them under the microscope. We'll compare an early copy, number 1 or something, and we'll compare it to the newest copy, number 2,000. And we'll try and document this because I really want to get that out into the world. Everybody thinks woodblock prints, oh no, they have to be limited edition because the blocks just don't last very long. Not true. Absolutely not true. Oh, someone's got the Mystique set. Wow, wow, wow. Thank you, thank you. For your birthday. So you didn't know? Or it was a birthday request, was it? Thank you, thank you. I'm really, really proud of that set, you know. I'm really proud of that set. That was the last full production that came out of here that was 100% made by me. Conceived, sketched, traced, carved, printed, everything carved by me. So. Do the edges of the plastic strips get cut? No, what we're doing here is I'm not pressing hard enough. If I left this plastic wider, and this is why we cut it this now, if I left the plastic, if the plastic was wider, about where my thumb is, then yes, there would be enough rock on the barren that this would emboss here. But this is so close, it's under the shoulder, so I'm embossing the top of this, and those edges of the plastic are right here. So they don't get embossed. But if the edges of the plastic were farther out, they would have a chance of getting touched. So it's just the lettering, but to do that we had to keep it narrow, and the lettering has to be a certain height above the base. We're not putting that much pressure in that pushes it down that far. What was the surprise? Great, wonderful, good, good. Did it get there in time? Because we've had so much shipping trouble recently. People buy things for a gift for somebody whose birthday is coming up in a couple of weeks, and we're in real trouble because we're having trouble, It's a sunny day. It is not. Did I get the cardboard out? No. I'm sorry. Fail. I got the cans out. I got the bottles out. Cardboard. Maybe another day. When I leave over, okay, I'll try and remember. Sorry. Okay. Hi. You don't want to see my bald spot? Is that better? This boy is so good, Yamamoto-san. もう本当にすごいでしょ。一枚ずつを全然違いもないし、もう全く同じ。お菓子も色も本当に綺麗。すごい。He is so good at this, Yamamoto-san. I'm so happy. We're not supposed to say things like this, but this is the best great wave print, including the original, that has ever been made. Absolutely. もう本物より
綺麗。
嘘じゃないよ。本物より綺麗でしょ。
そうだよね。
そう。
本物はね、またちょっと。
Back in the old days, they didn't take care. We're taking care. These are the best damn great waves that have ever been made, ever. And I'll stand by that. I'll compare with anything. Anything. It really feels good to be in that position. And my name is on, including the original, yeah. Someone's asking about John. He's late today. He let us know. John's a real nice guy, and he's late. He's got something like work. He'll be heartened to know that you've been asking about him. You know, good. He will feel needed and missed. It's good. If I don't show up, are people going to ask about me? Where's Dave today? His stream's a bit slow today. Which reminds me, so to remind you again, those of you who might not be here at the end of the stream, we're off. Normally there would be a stream 2 days from now on Saturday. There won't be one. It's a 1 day off day. I won't be back again now until Monday, 4 days from now. So the normal Saturday stream is cancelled this week. Someone's saying, you need to take my place. I'm really, the seed of this idea is now been planted and it's starting to come. The idea that our streams, which for the moment are still just me doing this, but the idea that we could stream with other staff members. They wouldn't all want to do this. A couple of them would like to do it. The problem, of course, is language. But yeah, when I said Saturday, I meant my Saturday morning, your Friday evening. There will be no stream this week. I guess it would be possible if we had somebody here, if Ayumi-san was doing this and only speaking Japanese, as long as there was somebody in the chat who was really fluent at both, who could listen and who could, type in comments and stuff from there, it might be doable. Translating in real time. It's called interpreting. Interpreting. Sugu-san, そのアイディアは、例えば今度の土曜日、今アイディアだけでしょ。今度の土曜日、ストリームキャンセルですね。僕は多めに金曜日のワクチンですから土曜日はできないかどうかわからないですからとりあえず土曜日を今オフですね。でチャットの考えがじゃあデイビーができない日例えばですね今度の土曜日じゃあすぐさんの机の上にキャメラを置いとくオンです。すぐさんがもうそこまでの英語はあんまり難しいし英語も話せないでもとりあえずすぐさんが1時間か90分の間に普通の仕事チャットはいろいろ話しますから説明しますから。今週じゃないですが、そのアイディアはいかがですか？
私ずっと吸ってればいいの普通に。
例えばでも問題はだから用意して、スタートボタン、それから1分ぐらいストップとか、グッバイとか。
機械とかわかるかな？
そうもし練習とかトレーニングいろいろ用意してですね。
機械
その考えはだから今週じゃなくて、その考えは
まあまあすって塗るぐらいだったら大丈夫だけど、するぐらいだったら喋れないけど。
she's open to the idea.
喋れ
It's not going to
ない。
happen this week. Relax. It's not happening on Saturday. She's open to the idea of doing that.
喋れないよ。
This is an interesting development. はいはいはい。もうコメント始まったよ。すがすごいとか始まったよ。そう。
そんなコメントたくさんある。
Where's my head? どこまで? I can come there. Okay, we'll think about this. We'll keep this in mind, and maybe at some point, a half and half stream or something like this. Cameron-san, are you here? I saw your email just now. Cameron-san, calling Cameron, are you here? I just saw my notifications and email from Cameron asking about something. Cameron is not here, okay. Yeah, auto-translate. There's lots of ways to do it, so lots of ways. So I got to write to Cameron. Hang on one sec, please. Just a sec. So close that time, that's right now. It's okay. There's something that's going to be happening here now the next couple of months. It's going to be no fun at all, Because there's 3 of us here today, we're doing the right thing. We're masking up. But it's going to get crazy hot here. It's already hot here today. And with the mask in this summertime, it's really going to be no fun. Absolutely no fun. And we have an air conditioner. We'll be turning it on soon, I guess. Butこれから夏のマスク生活は大変でしょ。
もう夏で。
そう。去年は2年目でしょ。
そうですね。今日じゃない、今年2年目。もう暑くてね。外なんかもうすごい暑い。
We talked before about the colors that I have called for this one, you know. If you compare with other great waves on the internet, especially modern ones, 20th century copies, they are much different blue. I've gone for a very, very cold, cold, cold blue. Many great waves have more, not green, but they've gone with a warmer tone on their blue. And they've also gone for a much more impactful sky. And the cloud shape stands up like a ghost in the sky. And I really didn't like that. So I've called for a sky that disappears, and I've called for freezing cold water. This is really cold. There are people who don't like it. There are a few people who have got our print and then said something's wrong. It's not like the ones I know. And I know it's not like the ones you know. But this was my choice. This was my call as a publisher. I just looked at lots and lots of copies. I looked at the museum copies all over the place. I looked at late Meiji copies, Taisho copies, modern ones. And I could clearly see a progression moving to the 20th century. The progression was really clear. Deepening the sky, warming up the whole thing. Now it's hard to tell when you go back to the museum copies because there's so much fading and toning. What was the sky really like? It's hard to tell. But it's pretty clear. None of them were vivid. Except some of the older ones they did. They put the gradation up so high it goes around the cloud. But, this was my call. And I like it. I like it. I like it. You're done with the masks again. I don't want to stop wearing them. It's definitely a change here in the culture. There's always been masks. If somebody had walked down the street with a mask, nobody thinks twice about it. There's always been whatever percent of people with a mask. And the general feeling has been it's not that they don't want to catch a cold or a virus, it's that they don't want to spread it around. Now, of course, mask wearing here is pretty much ubiquitous. And even once the vaccines get spread around a lot, my guess is that for the ongoing future now, for as long as I can see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 years, I think Japanese street culture will be pretty much masks. And I would guess the train companies are probably going to mandate it. Large shops, theaters are going to mandate it, even after we're quite fully vaccinated. The variants, tourists are going to come back. So my guess is masks are now pretty much going to be here to stay, at least for the foreseeable, measurable future. We'll see how it goes, but that's my guess here in Japan. Because of the acceptance base that was already in place, ね、杉さんどう思う？多分1年後、2年後、全員がワクチン入った時にも、外が全員がマスクでしょ。電車に入って、ショッピングに劇場でマスクなしで戻らないでしょ。
そうかね。
僕もあまり外で。
そうだね。
だからもちろんわからないですが、今の話、海外で、Oh my God、もういらない、Let's go, throw it away。日本はそうにならないと思いますよ。
そうかもしれないね。
そう。だからもうとりあえずそのまま。そのまま。I think. So. I mean, we don't know, but I think, whereas my general feeling is over there, people are saying, I've got to get rid of this thing as soon as I can. Here, people are saying, well, maybe it's okay, but I think I'm just going to hang around with this for a little bit longer, meaning another year, 2 years, 3 years, whatever. So my guess is that's the way it's going to play. We'll see. I certainly possibly could be wrong. So we'll see how it goes. But what will change is once we're all vaccinated in a situation like this, 3 people working together in this room, open the windows, let's get these masks off, we're okay because we're vaccinated. So that will be easier. But as soon as I go outside with all those, the great unwashed, we're going to be wearing masks. これは違いますね、すぐさん。3人、僕もすぐさん、石川さんが打った後、もうマスクなくても。かなとか、そう。で、3人、OK ですか、OK ですか、とりあえず。
映画館とかのね。
電車
とかね。 あとカラオケボックス
あ、もちろんもちろんもちろん。まあでも売るって歌うんでしょ。
歌うけどでも密室っていうか空気がこもってるから、なんかね。
Is there an anti-vax movement in Japan? Yes and no. It's not an anti-vax movement that is trying to promote it and tell people what to do. There are no real strong anti-vaxxers here, but there is resistance. And there is a history, there is a reason. There has been a bunch of unfortunate incidents throughout in the post-war period where a vaccine was put into place that actually caused a number of problems. And that history is still there. So there are people who are, I'm not going to go for this just now, I'm going to wait and see what happens. So it's not so much anti-vax as, hesitant. And there are, as I said, there are reasons. If you Google this up, you'll see there are reasons for this. But do we have people standing at the street corner saying, sheeple, sheeple, don't do this? No, that's not existent here in Japan. That I know of. But they're not going to get 100%. They're not going to get anywhere near 100%. So. Again, people just checking in. As always, people just checking in. We're doing the embossing here. One of the embossings that I'm most proud of. We have here, if I can get it still enough. There we are. Reading top to bottom. It's picture, Katsushika Hokusai. The middle section says Hori, carving, and it's my name in katakana, Buru de Bido. And then at the bottom it's Suri, printing, and it says Yamamoto Shun. The young man, he's I guess in his 30s, Sanju Nanakura, Yamamoto-san? He's in his 30s. Any free young ladies out there? He's in his 30s, still single, not much chance to meet people, got a good skill set, very nice boy. Partner, can we match him up with somebody here? so, get over here, get over here. He's a real nice guy. Really nice guy. He just never gets a chance to meet anybody. He's stuck in his room all day long, printing. I don't know what to say about that, whatever. Anyway, it's not my business, but in the old days, it was my business. His employers and the older people around him, it was their job to match these people up, Nowadays, we're not permitted to do that. It's all hands off. And there he is, he's stuck all by himself. And we've got same thing, we've got single women in our situation, the same thing, and they just don't know how to meet people and whatever, so whatever. Look at what Koringami just shared. I mean, right now, no. It's just about... What Hokusai's masterpiece tells us about museums' copyright? I don't know. It sounds like I'll read it. I know... What is it? Some museum that's not letting you take pictures of their print or something? I don't know. No idea. You know what we feel about this, so. The great wave with the weird gradation. Hi, look at the picture. Okay, ちょっと待ってください. Copy link. Medium.com. Oh, that thing, yeah, yeah, the rain gradation. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Your guess is as good as mine. No idea. Remember, the blocks and the clone blocks and the copied blocks and the forged blocks have forked and spread down the years. Literally, with no exaggeration, thousands of block sets for this great wave print, original and forged. And they've been in the hands of thousands and thousands of printers. So at one point, one day, a publisher or a printer said, let's try this. Your guess is as good as mine. It could have happened way back. It could have happened, and maybe Hokusai was in the room saying, let's try this. I don't know. No idea. No idea. It's a very bashed up block set, or it's a block set that has been made to look like a bashed up block set. So this is not Hokusai involved here, because that's a very worn out set of blocks, or it's a reproduction of a worn out set of blocks. No idea. No idea.示したままで、石川さん、示したままで。
はいはい。
じゃあ軽くかな。
はい。
紙が薄いから。
はい。
でマニキュアも？
じゃあ、はい。
一番丁寧なやり方。いや、悪くない。Ishikawa-san has just returned here. She's been in the back room over there, and she's been using our press. She has calendared her paper. She's starting now on print number 7, this year's set. And she's done some test printing. She spent 3 full days, really, really difficult full days. Yeah, tamishimini, full days, working out different colors. Her own idea. She came to me and said, what do you think? But mostly it's her ideas. She has created this print again. Suga-san also did a batch. So we've got 4 full days of test printing now on this print, and she's going to start today. And once she starts, we don't talk to her, we keep quiet. She's doing the key block today. And she does not want Dave around, absolutely. You know, I'm not saying this sarcastically or cynically. When I'm here, I keep interrupting her and talking and blah, 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 blah. But the rule in any print workshop is when you're doing a key block, you leave that person alone. You throw away their phone, you go to the bathroom before you start, and you don't interrupt this person. Because interruptions through a key block, the block dries out when they're on the phone, even for 1 or 2 minutes. If I ask something, the block dries out, then the next 2 or 3 copies get a different moisture balance, the paper swells and shrinks. We just leave that person alone. Color blocks, it doesn't matter, because you can come back and fix it. But if the paper has a variation while the key block is happening, you'll never get the colors to line up. So once she starts, we just pretend she's not here today. But it's funny because at the show and tell time, she's going to want to talk about today's show and tell. So it's okay. That's a 15分ぐらいで話しますから. Yeah, it's okay. She won't be started by then, so it's okay. She's still counting and sorting out her paper. Like a pitcher in the 7th inning of a no-hitter. Is that what they do? They leave the guy alone, I guess? Is it more stress that way? I don't know. No, it's not superstitions. It's just simply practical. Not even a phone call, because the block dries out. You've seen that happen with me when I'm printing on here. No, I understand the jinxing, I understand, but I would have thought it better to just sort of pretend nothing's happening. Normally you'd sit next to a picture, how's it going, if you leave them alone, it just gets more and more stressful, I guess. So. Hey, people just joining, asking what's going on. We're embossing again this morning. You can see the lettering here. It's the designer's name and my name. We're putting the final step, the embossing, being done with this plastic plate. 今4番使ってますから、どれでもいいですから。
はい。
4番あまり使わないでしょ。
どうぞ。
Okay, thank you. Because it's her key block priority. She may be looking for the baron called Dave, maybe, or 1番、1番平。4番絶対強すぎでしょ。So she doesn't need this one, no problem. If she called for it, though, she gets it. Because she gets a priority for a key block, absolutely. This is number 4. This is one of the barons from the treasure box. Those of you who know that video with Ayumi-san, Sekai, that video, this is one of the barons from that box. And this was the one I labeled as being the dangerous one. Do you remember that? 覚えますか ?4 番は危ないです。危ない。だからまあまあ使いますが、途中でだから it's some of them are weak, some of them are strong. This one it seemed to be a weak one, but every now and then I found it would just rip the paper up. I don't know why. Label number 4, 危ない。で今日エンボスでしょ。だから何もないです。How do you spell Dave in Japanese? Actually, it's fun. It's fun. 点々が多いです。Where is it? 僕の名前でしょ。ブル・デイビッドですが、点々いくつか。ブ、点々。ルなし。デ、点々。ビ、点々。ド、点々。Whatever, somebody's got it. Oh, I should, yeah, what am I doing? I should type it. Here's what's going on this block here. How do I do this? Oops. And actually it's funny, that's not the normal way that my name David is spelled in Japanese. There's lots of different ways. When you get a V sound in a word, it doesn't go well into Japanese character transliterations. And there's a which I don't like. So I did it into a simpler, more childish way. My way of writing it is the way a child might say it. David-san. And I chose that as my name, even though it's very childish. It's not the way an adult writes David at all. And also, it's one of those unwritten language rules. You never end a word with a do. It would always end with a to. So I should write it as David-to with a T, to. But I'm stubborn, so I said, no, I want do. But when I get letters, cards and letters from people, whatever, all during the poets' years, nobody, and I mean nobody, would write that 10-10 because it's an unwritten rule. It just doesn't work that way. Do sounds more natural, but only because you're a Westerner, not a Japanese. It doesn't sound natural to Japanese at all. The other huge mistake with my name is I would get letters again, and my name is Buru. But no, the letters come in Buru, 3 syllables, Buru, because that's the word blue, and that's what people are familiar with. So lots of times my name would have been Buru Debito. Whatever, the letter still gets to me, but you know. surgery. Dr. Bull will be at work this afternoon. Buru is a different thing. Buru is that kind of round bread. What's it called? It's a French word, kind of. Buru. I don't know how to pronounce it in the West. Boule. It's a French word for a certain kind of bread, I guess. And that's what you've got there. Buru. This is an Oban print, yes. Oh, bowl. Soka soka. If I want to take a Japanese name here, if I took citizenship, nationality, if I became Japanese, then I must choose a Japanese kanji name as part of the laws there. So I would have to choose kanji for the National Register of Names. Everybody who's a citizen here has what's called a koseki, and that needs to be kanji. So if I became citizen, I would have to choose kanji. I'm not a citizen, so I can do whatever I want. There's no rules, this or that. There's Cameron. Oh, Cameron's here. Soka, soka, soka. Cameron, I don't know. I saw a notification about a neko hake order, and I'm sure there is an order. I saw it come in, but I didn't. It is a question. What would Dave's name be if he had to choose a Japanese name? We've had this conversation over the years. In fact, at one of my exhibitions, the poetry exhibition, we had some snacks and drinks and stuff. And a group of the supporters, and this is like 1999 or something, a group of the supporters spent hours brainstorming possible kanji names for me. So, what am I doing with the blue? Okay, I should turn this off just for a sec so you can see what's going on. For those of you who don't know what's happening here, this is not a block. This is a pad of a shop towel which has been moistened. It is a moistened shop towel. The paper is going just as a dab, picking up a tiny bit of moisture over to get the embossing. It's already drying out. And we're done, and it's actually going to dry within seconds. The idea is it just gives the embossing a little bit more bite. As we saw in the previous stream a few days ago, I did the embossing on my own print while the paper was still in its normal moist condition. That's the best way. But these outside printers, they're like, no. How's our time? 9:04. I think we're going to be okay. I've got about 15 sheets left. Maybe we're okay. We have a fun show and tell. I've stopped giggling about it, but yeah, we have a fun show and tell here today. Sugu さんも今やってるスリは難しいもの、簡単なもの、今日の。OK, OK. いや、だからショーンテルになったらすぐさんあんまり邪魔か。
そうです。
どっちか OK。はい、いいよ、いいよ。
すいません。
はい、はい、はい。
ちょっと
いや、いいよ、いいよ、いいよ。はい、はい、だから。
でも興奮しちゃうと思うみんな絶対絶対興奮しちゃうと思うそう思う
I'm missing a bunch of this. Talking about Kraken? I don't know what's going on here. Do I get paper cats? Paper cats. What's a paper cat? No, I don't. our paper, the washi paper, actually is kind of thick, and although we do slice it cleanly, it's a bit thick. A paper like this, I know it's really quite thick paper, and although we cut it smoothly, it's not the kind of sharpness that would cut our fingers. So I can't say never, but it's not a risk for us. You know. And also to remember, mostly when we're dealing with our paper, it's mostly moistened. This is dry today, but for a printer, 99% of the time we're dealing with paper. As you see, I'm lifting up sheets of damp, moist paper, and no one's going to get a paper cat from moist paper. But I like the idea, paper cats. Okay, we're getting to the bottom of the pile here now, and what will happen, almost certainly what will happen here, is that we might find some cut corner copies. Yamamoto-san, when he's got some prints in the stack that he thinks are maybe not quite acceptable, he will put a nick in one of the corners at the top right to guide me, to warn me. If it's one of his test prints, and then if the you know, oh, here we are. Look at this. We have, 1, 2, 3, 5. My God, the world is coming to an end. Out of 60 sheets, he's marked 5 of them as being, not quite sure, Dave. Please check into this and see what happens. So let's have a look. This is not to embarrass him at all. He is a fabulous, fabulous 100% printer. But it's quite possible, okay, here we can see, I can see what's wrong with this one. We won't be able to sell this and I won't be able to fix it. And it's technically the printer's mistake, but we are going to pay him anyway. I'll need to zoom in. No, you won't take one of these. I know everybody says, let me take one, but no, you won't. Let's have a look. A meteor in the sky over Mount Fuji. And this is technically his mistake, because what happens is the black pigment, he hadn't ground it quite finely enough. 小さな点があったんですが、お菓子作った時に布か刷毛の中に一点あったんですから。見えますか？
あるあるある。
She's saying, yeah, it happens to me too, me too. Of course, it happens to all of us. So there is no, this is not a screw up. He's not an idiot. Just whatever. It happens. We don't get 100%. You say no one's going to notice this? Absolutely, they're going to notice this. They're saying, yeah, 欲しい欲しい。何してください。
何枚もそれついちゃったんですか？一枚だけ？
今最後のカードの点。
あ、なってる。
今5枚ありますが、多分最初のテストもロモとか。
いやー、それあるな。
So this one, the name doesn't go on. Let's have a look at the next one. I shouldn't embarrass him. He's okay. He's a fabulous, fabulous printer. This is all right to show this. It's okay. Let me think about this for a minute. Ah, okay, I get it. I get it. What we're looking at here, this must be perhaps one of the early ones. When he starts printing, you know, you got 50, 60 in the batch, whatever. Before you start with your real paper, you see me do this. You do 1 sheet, 2 sheets, 3 sheets on junk paper. This gets your brush charged up and gets you working well and stuff like this. But even having done that, the first 1 or 2 or 3 sheets, and I think that's what we've got here. Just the color isn't as rich and deep and smooth as it should be. Look in the back here. If I pull one of the other ones out from down in the stack, let's compare. Yeah. Look at this. Okay, let's try and compare. Look at the lighter blue section here, and then the deeper blue. This was one of the okay sheets. You can see it. So there's a mura in here, not quite strong enough. So he hasn't said this is no good. He has asked me. He's just marking this to let me know, Dave, take a look at this one. It's your call. It's going to go out or not. Cutting the corner a little bit like this gives me the options. We've still got extra paper here, and I will be trimming these actually. Now, Kubota-san, the guy we work with, who's Yamato-san's master, he'll cut off like this, which means I am not going to be able anyway to sell this. But Yamamoto-san cut it a little bit just to give me a bit of notice and make it my call as to whether we send this or not. So what I'm going to do right now is, because I'm getting these under the microscope today, for now, I'm going to put my name on this one. And then this afternoon when I'm down on the scope, checking these all, I will have another more careful look at it to see whether it goes into the outstack or not. Yeah, I see where we're at here. This is the early group. Look. This is nothing. It's just too weak. The colors are too weak. This is copy number 1 or copy number 2. This is not going to get embossed. A lot of comets must have come by in 1842. Oh, I see what this is. He's tried to fix this. There's I don't know if we're going to be able to see this. A brush has come out of his hair. Just at the moment when he was brushing side by side, a brush came out of his hair, and he didn't notice it. He put the paper on top and rubbed on the back, and there's now an embossed sideways mark with a bit of pigment on it. And there's no way, I cannot fix this in any way whatsoever. To fix this would mean cutting a hole and replacing with a piece of washi. So no. So this is, again, technically it's a printer's mistake. His hair came out of his brush and spoiled the print. And he is so frustrated. That's the very last impression of the print. He's come this far, and boom, a hair falls out, and it's game over. That's our job. That's what you get with handmade products. It's okay. We can't pull 100. Nobody bats 1,000 in the major leagues, you know? We get close. Okay, this is a test sheet. It's printed on the back of the paper. It's not even close. It's on. You can see. Look. This is not meant for. Look. He's just testing, getting registration tested. So this is junk. He should have cut a larger corner. So out of the 60 sheets, it looks like maybe there's 3 or 4 that are going to be things that I cannot sell. That's okay. This is a fabulous reaction. And here they are. This afternoon I'll check each one. And then these are going to go to Ome. They're going to be packed one by one, and they're going to fly off to different homes all over the world. So this is their final chance. Their final chance to be together before they're separated and they fly out around the world. This is such a fun part of my job to see them like this. The packing ladies too, they talk about this, you know. It's like when you get your dog has puppies, whatever, and there's 6 puppies, and for a few days they're okay and they're all happy together with the mother dog and stuff like that. Then you put the ad in the newspaper, puppies for sale, and in people come up your driveway, There they are. Those 6 puppies are now going to be dispersed all over the world. Our 60 puppies here are about to be spread around. Yes, yes, ding, ding. I'm okay. We're on this. We're on this. We're on this. Okay, let's go. Show and tell. Where to start? Where to start? I had, oh my God, where to start? I had a brand new show and tell planned for you today, but I think I'm going to put it aside because something else happened 10 minutes before today's stream that is much more fun. How many are on the list? Don't ask me. Cameron is the one who controls that. I don't know. Okay, to recap. In the show and tell the other day, we showed this little print. We're not going to spend too much time on this right now, just for people who weren't here the other day, before I get to the main event here. For people who were here the other day, we showed a bunch of match label prints, and among the match label prints was this one, which was published by a match label collectors group. It was published in Showa 3, and it was in honor of the 5th anniversary of their collection group coming up. So we showed this a few days ago. And just to recap, it's an Rimpyo Shushu Mango Shunen Kinen Shosannen Juichikatsu. And we were puzzled about what was going on here. It seems to be a parody. It's a parody of whatever, a woman either tattooing or inking or doing something with a guy's arm. And we were joking that this is a good advertisement for Japan's current vaccination program. Or not, whatever. Anyway, so we put this aside. I tried to do a bit more research on it, didn't really turn up anything until 10 minutes before the stream started today. Let's put this aside. Here's today's goods. It's 2 books. Actually, let me get a stand here. Hang on a second. Ishikawa-san hasn't started printing it. She wants to have a look at this book. It's okay. These books came in. This is from an auction 2 days ago. These things arrived yesterday afternoon. It came up on an auction. A couple of other people wanted them. I wanted them a little bit more, but it still wasn't very expensive. The 2 books together cost me about 3,000 plus shipping, cost about 8,000 yen. So I invested about $70 in these books. And what they are, this is a magazine that was published back in the Taisho era. And the date of the first publication, let me find the colophon here, hang on one sec. The colophon, it's, Taisho Gannen, the first year of Taisho. This magazine was published, and it's called, Kono Hana. We don't use this kanji anymore. We just say, Kono bottle, this bottle, Kono. We use hiragana now, but in the old days it used to be a kanji, Kono. And this is Kono Hana, these flowers. And that was the name of the magazine. So this is 1912 when the magazine started, and it ran for 24 issues, and we have here all 24 of them. The person who got these magazines got the first set of 12 and then the second set of 12, and at some point later he must have gone out to a little bookbinding company and he had them bind them up like this. So this is sort of a unique little collection, and it really keeps these magazines in beautiful condition. Now this is not an old woodblock printed book. The magazine itself is done in what would have been metal type on the day. It's still made the same way as the old books, with fold-out it's got fold-out paper, so the construction is the same way as the old books, but it's done on printing presses. The illustrations, though, are for the most part carved on wood blocks. They're carved on wood blocks, racked up into a chase with metal type, and then printed with an oil-based ink. So all the black and white woodcuts that we see inside the book itself. Interspersed with those are actual handmade woodblock prints. And indeed, the magazine itself, the topic is, where are we here? It's Fuzoku Kaiga, picture, I'm not sure the pronunciation. Fuzoku Kaiga Senmon Zashi. A book of illustrations and discussions about customs and manners. And the theme is late Edo ukiyo-e, wrapped into how it was being seen and appreciated in the Taisho era. And they started to publish this thing, and the topic of all the things is ukiyo-e artists, ukiyo-e designers, what they were doing, what the pictures are. This thing has all been digitized. It's in the National Library. I knew about it, but now we have here a full set. And stuff like this. Let me find the first example. Here we are. Ukiyo-e Nishikie history. And there's a story here about one of the early types of ukiyo-e called urushie, explaining what urushie is, lacquer pictures. And they made it and pasted it in. And if I get the light just right, do you see what's happening here? This is an actual example of an urushie print. What you're seeing in black here is actual lacquer applied to the print and then buffed up, shiny. This print alone is worth like 2 or 3 times what I paid for this thing. So it's crazy. One of the reasons I really wanted to show it to you today, I got it yesterday. I was flipping through this last night. It's going to take me months, years to go through this damn thing. But I was flipping through it last night, and I got to the end of the first volume here. There's the second volume. I get to the end of the first volume, and there's a page of advertising. There's the publisher's colophon, which talks about the price and what they're planning for this. And then there is this. And this, I just could not stop laughing. It's an advertisement for an ukiyo-e shop in Tokyo. It's advertising the stuff they sell, and then it's also advertising kaitori. And they say, bring us your ukiyo-e prints. We pay top prices. And it says actually this right here. It says we pay top prices for your ukiyo-e prints. Bring them all in. The shop name is Sakai Kokodo. Ring any bells? Sakai Kokodo. It's the shop that closed in the next block last month. They're advertising in this book their own products, and bring your stuff to us. We will pay top prices for your ukiyo-e. And this is the time they are in Kanda. The address here is Tokyo City, Kanda-ku, Tashiro Machi かな? Tashiro という担保の田と大時代の大Tashiro Machi 9丁目堺高校堂の昔のビルです。And that must be Jimbocho, the area, Kanda, Jimbocho. And they're still in business. They closed their shop in the next block here, but they are still around. They're not going anywhere. They have a shop in the Nakamise. They're the owners of the Matsumoto Ukiyo-e Museum up in Matsumoto. These guys they're not disappearing. And over the years, they must have had shops and closed and opened and closed. They used to be in the Imperial Hotel. So I'm not trying to, there's no disaster here. But it's so much fun to see their advertising in this magazine. But then what gets better? I was thinking, this is enough. I'm going to show this for show and tell today. We're going to page through this. And literally 10 minutes before the stream, I got to go to the bathroom. I got to get the camera ready. I got this. And Ishikawa-san and Sugi-san and I were paging through this. And I've put a marker in it now so I can find the same page. But we were just flipping through. And they're like, ooh, wow, this is cool. I've never seen this sort of stuff before. Ooh, wow. We flipped through. And I randomly, just like flip pages like this. Look what's in here. And we flip. And Sugi-san just went nuts, whatever. We flip. Here's the marker I put in just now. We flip to this page. This is in volume 3, published in the first year of Taisho. So here we are. It's a thing. Now I cannot, as we sit here right now, I just learned this a few minutes ago, The writing is a little bit archaic. The three of us, a few minutes before the stream, we started to look into it. What they're talking about here, it's a novel that was published back in the Anye era. Anye was 1770s into the 1780s. So somewhere back in the 1781 or something, I'll give you more details later, there's a novel, and it involves a samurai, and it involves, like, this is Yoshiwara, Yujo. And we don't know details of the story yet. We can't report the details of the story. The young man is sitting here. He has opened his belly. There is a knife on the floor in front of him. It looks like, he has, come to the end here. And she is writing on his arm, Inochi.
1書いて1の下に命
Ichi. One.
So.
And then inochi. And inochi, life. So what's the
So,
translation? Inochi. She's going. So I see.
1
understand.
命で1命
じゃあでも命わかります。1
そう
命何？
なんだろうね
これから2とか3とかこれからいや I don't know.
わかんないな
わかんない
なんでだろうね
So again, we've just discovered this a few minutes ago, so we can't tell you the whole story. There's a novel, and the novel may be in a database somewhere. It's been translated. I have no idea. And Ichi Inoshi, I don't even know how to pronounce it. 言い方は何？わかんない。We're looking at each other. We don't know how to pronounce this. Anyway, the point being, there is a story here, and this presumably was known to literate people in the country. Come this time, these people will know what that was, and this is clearly a parody of that particular. Well, I'm assuming at this point, before I learn more, I'm assuming that this is a parody of the episode described in this novel. And as was really common in Japanese history, novels could not be just novels, they may be also based on something historical as well. As we learn more, I'll report more, but at the moment, there we go. But tell me about the coincidence. This came in here last week, and we got this, and it's cool, and I don't know what it is, and let's try and figure out some more. Yesterday, these books came in at random, different auction, different person, no connection. I didn't even see it. We opened this, and 10 minutes before the stream, Dave flips a page, and this comes up, and Suga-san is like, what? So maybe somebody out here is already finding information on here. Good. Go for it. I can give you a bit of a tease then. The novel was Kishi. Oh my, how are you going to pronounce this? Kishi Yobo. I don't know. Let me zoom in and you guys can run with it. Actually, this is episode 2 of the ongoing story here. So in episode 1, which must be in the volume before this here, there is continued. So they are either retelling the story or they are transliterating from the old book. I don't know. And here again, closing up so you can see what's going on. This is the kanji, ichi inochi. Well, you can wrap it up and just call it inochi. Ichi no inochi. Inochi. I don't know how it would be pronounced. There they are. Ichi inochi. So going back to ours, does it look like the same character? No. But again, that's part of the parody. Who knows? So, One Life. Nay, the guy is about to do himself in, and I don't know anything about what's going in the background here. There we have it. Now, what else is in this book? I have no idea. Let's flip through just quickly before we sign off here. Let's flip through. It's stories about the old days, legends, ghosts, you name it. There's fold-out prints. These are all woodblock prints. The book itself is metal type. There's more information in here than I could handle in a month, in a lifetime. The Momotaro story. It's just anything and everything to do with manners and customs from the old ukiyo-e described for people in the Taisho era. And any random page you open is going to be full of fabulous things. In fact, that page we just looked at just 1 minute ago back there when we found the advertising. If I just flip back for a second. Where was that advertising? Hang on a sec. So, you tell me what's going on here. We have one set of clothing with a face on this side and a face on that side, and I thought, okay, somebody's wearing a mask on the back of their head. I get it. We all do that at Halloween. We've got the leg here. This is this guy's legs, and he's wearing a woman's face. No, he isn't. She has legs too. So there's actually two people here who have wiggled themselves into one set of clothing. Or is that leg? Is that his right leg and this is his left leg? You tell me. Maybe it is actually one person. On his left foot he's got a sandal, he's a guy. And on his right foot he's put the clog, it's a woman. I think it's one person. And the back one, he is holding a rush mat. And this was the trademark item of a lowest level prostitute who carried her own mat and said, let's find the back alley guy, let's go for this. So there must be an explanation, I guess, here as well. It just doesn't end. So it's some kind of street performer who's performing as two people. Maybe it's, that's how they did it in festival or something, who knows. Someone says two people, one say one person. I only see 2 feet though, so the more I think about this now, I think it's a guy, a street performer of some kind who is acting as two people at the same time. 2 left feet. No, you're right, that's a left foot, and this is a left foot. I don't know. I don't know, I give up, I don't know. It could be 2 people, they've stuffed themselves into the same clothing and one walks backwards. I have no idea. More ads from Sakai Kokodo, ads from different print companies. This is so useful for us, we see this advertising and we get stuff in our collection, like where was it published, who did it, what's going on. They match up eventually. The stuff in our collection matches up with the stuff we see in these ads. What an absolute treasure. What a treasure. Bakute. Okay, the technique they're showing in this one, they're explaining a print made with haku, with silver or gold, not foil, gold leaf, silver or gold leaf. And they've done the same thing. They have made a print with some kind of leaf put on. It's of course a print of Ichikawa Danjuro. Tell you what, a book like this would be a fabulous project for somebody's thesis. Imagine somebody who's been studying Japanese culture or ukiyo-e culture or whatever. They've been studying this at school and they're looking for a thesis project for a master's. Grab this set of 24 books. Oh my God, you've got enough material for a lifetime of study. I don't think it was silver, I think it's aluminum. There's enough material here for a lifetime. Oh, this is episode 3 of that same story. We've skipped ahead. Bunshinka, it's episode 3. The story continues. I assume this is a tattoo artist with his knife. I don't know. No idea. Bowl of ink. No, it doesn't look like a tattoo. I don't know. No idea. Kimono designs. As we said, fuzoku, the word in the title, manners and customs, and it really sort of covers anything and everything. So it just seems to be a book about anything and everything, manners and customs from the ukiyo-e era. Was this magazine affordable for the masses? I don't know about masses. I know. Well, these guys are busy. I can't ask them now. The price. I'm sorry, 石川さん、この値段読めますか？雑誌の値段。円銭ですね。
金25銭。
25銭。
3冊前金70銭。ちょっと安くなるね。
安いでしょ。
ちょっとね。
1冊を足りに25銭。
そう。
Okay, 25 sen for one, and it gets cheaper if you put a subscription and buy more. For three, they're 70, but for one, it's 25. And there's more and more details, probably like a year in advance subscription, blah, 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 blah. Okay, 25 sen. Thank you, Shikara-san. 25 sen, and this is Taisho, or we've now moved ahead. This is Taisho 2. So the first one was the October in Taisho Gannen. October in the first year of Taisho. We've now moved ahead half a year. This is Taisho 2. This is March of Taisho 2. 25 sen, 1928. You tell me, your guess is as good as mine. I don't have any comprehension of the value of money at that time. As to how well it sold, I don't know. It survived for 2 years and then seems to have disappeared. So it kept going for 2 years. It's full of woodblock prints. Just absolutely full of woodblock prints. Ah, そうか。石川さん、ありがとうと。
ありがとうございます。
デイビッドはもう邪魔しないでください。She hasn't started printing yet. I thought it was okay. She hasn't actually printed yet. She's still preparing.
終わってからね。終わってから。終わってからお話しする。
She's a smart lady. She's just simply waiting until I'm out of here, and then she's going to start. She knows the danger. If I'm still in the room, there's no way she's going to... This is a true story. She's nodding her head. Okay, stream もう終わりですから。畳んで僕下の仕事いっぱいありますから。
はいはい、待ってます。
She's waiting for me to get up. She wants to get going and finish and go home. Okay, I get it. Okay. All right, there we go. That's volumes 1 to 12. Here we are. This is volumes 13 to 24. There we go. Thank you very much. I don't know. We won't be scanning all these. They're in the National Library here, and they are all scanned page by page by page. So the content is actually available to researchers and people like that. So for us to have this in our collection, it's just simply a cool thing to have. I'm going to sign off now, and I'm going to sign off now till Monday. As I said, the normal Saturday stream is cancelled because Dave is maybe going to be flat on his back after the vaccine, or maybe I'll just be dancing. I have no idea, but I don't want to take the risk of shall we stream or shall we not stream. So I'm booking off. No stream Saturday. Next stream, same time, same station here. Monday morning for me, Sunday night for you. We'll sign off with this. I did notice one thing just before the stream started. I put a bookmark in it on this page. Ooh, that's nice. This will be fun to show you just as we're finishing. One of the pages in this book showed a silhouette picture, a woodblock print. It's a woodblock print, comes right through to the back, and it's some kind of silhouette picture of activities, street things you would see on the street. No idea. Anyway, there we are. Signing off for now. See you next Monday. Let me pop up the outside view just before we leave.
What?
今これからだから今見えないよ。最後のカメラ、外のカメラしか見えない。
あ、そう。違う。いや、それいいね。それ。何？
Okay, you have to show us already. Come on, stop. Okay, sayonara. See you next week. Thank you. Bye bye.